Hi folks, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Kat. I'm a licensed and registered dietitian nutritionist and online nutrition coach. I focus in on sports nutrition, gut health, and prenatal nutrition, as well as overall practices that support physical, mental, social, and emotional well-being. This is Loki. He's helping me out with the intro. You want to go? No, he'll stay for a little bit. Today, we are talking about former super trainer Chalene Johnson and her new YouTube video talking about her experience with BeachBody. So if that sounds interesting to you, then let's go. Everything in this video is 100% my opinion. It is just a reaction video, so let's go. Okay, Loki is off to do cat things. We are talking about Chalene Johnson. As I mentioned, she is a former super trainer. It feels like she still has some ties to BeachBody. I'm not going to speculate on anything though. I posted about this a little bit on my Instagram stories, and some people reached out to me and said that she has not completely cut ties with BeachBody. I don't know what that exactly means. I know that they are still using her bio and and videos in general that have her in there. I don't know if that means that they just own the videos, but she really has no say in them, whether they show them or not, or if she still has some ties to BeachBody. I have no idea. I'm not gonna speculate. Chalene was big in the BeachBody world. I remember when she was actively involved with BeachBody. I've never been involved with BeachBody, but I do remember seeing her speak about their programs and things of that nature. I also wanted to give a shout out to one of my viewers, Rachel, from Rachel Enjoys Life. She has actually followed Chalene for quite a while, listening to her podcast, and according to Rachel, Chalene has been leaving breadcrumbs, kind of talking about everything that she talked about in her video throughout here and there with her podcast. And so this just kind of is putting it all together, but it's not really like brand new information, but it's still new to me. So we are just going to be reacting to about 11 minutes of her total video, not the whole video. The first part of the video that we're going to skip over, she does discuss more about her background, how she grew up, kind of what her focus and her passion was throughout her years of life as she was younger and as she grew into adulthood, and how that related to how she got started with BeachBody. So we are going to jump in about the time where she starts talking about being involved with BeachBody on the super trainer side and feeling a little bit of like imposter syndrome going on when she was doing those kind of training recordings and things like that. And she also shares about how tough that job was, just with all of the feedback from people. A lot of it not really positive. A lot of it was positive, but also getting a lot of negative feedback from people, which I can completely imagine that happening, just being in the type of field that she was and doing the kind of videos that she was doing. Doesn't mean that that's fair or that should happen, but I'm just saying that I can see that happening, and I can see how that can really take a toll on someone's mental health and overall health in general. This video is not for the purpose of bashing Chalene or anything like that. My goal with this video really aligns with the goal of my channel as a whole, which is talking about companies, and this one specifically is an MLM company, nutrition related one, that really take a harmful approach to health. And when we talk about health, we always talk about how health encompasses more than just physical health, right? So the definition, physical, mental, social, and emotional well-being, that's what we always use on this channel, inspired by how the World Health Organization describes or defines health. And so my goal is to really talk about how these companies really are the opposite when you look at what they are promoting and what they are recommending people do. And in my opinion, the more that we can talk about how concerning some of those actions that companies like BeachBody does and what they have done for years, I think the better. I am so glad that Chalene saw some of the toxic outcomes from BeachBody, and I'll talk more about kind of my final thoughts at the end, but this is not to bash Chalene. Am I going to be giving some critique? Yes. you can do that in a healthy way. That does not equal bashing or anything. I don't want anybody to comment on anything that wasn't action related about Chalene. We can have healthy conversation in that way, but I will not tolerate any kind of like name calling or body shaming or anything like that about Chalene or anybody else for that matter. We're just talking about actions and how BeachBody really, in my opinion, doesn't promote health. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the video. And I'm gonna be speeding up her video just a little bit so we can get through it a little bit quicker.
Once I got into consumer videos, man, that took a toll on my confidence. A little bit because of like, you know, you just like when you have millions of people watching a video, you know, there's a whole lot of people who love to comment about everything, your body, your voice, your workouts, everything. So that's hard in and of itself, but then the industry in and of itself just took a toll on me. And what I'm about to tell you, please know, this has nothing to do with the people who are involved. This is about me. This is my own stuff. This is how I interpreted the experience. But it eventually became really unhealthy for me.
So I just wanted to stop it right there because she takes so much of the blame, and this is kind of what we'll see throughout this part of the video, but she says that this has nothing to do with the people involved, that this was her perception of things, that this is all about her. And while I can admire that, and I do admire that part from her, this has everything to do with BeachBody and the industry in general. What she is going to talk about is just a small example of why and how the dieting, fitness, wellness industry can be so toxic. So while she takes that kind of blame, I don't know if that's the right word, but this definitely has more to do with other people than her, in my opinion. Again, just a reaction video.
And, you know, sometimes there would be like a cameraman who would be like, oh, hey, you might want to, you know, pull your elastic up a little bit on that side. You've got like a fat roll coming out. Or, oh, you might want to, you know, change your angle a little bit because we're seeing your skin crinkle. Or someone commenting like, you know, I think your video series would do a lot better if in the next one you were leaner.
That doesn't have anything to do with her. That has everything to do with those people involved, including that cameraman who was telling her to pull up her pants a little bit because she had a little fat roll. Those are really harmful things to tell someone. She is taking way too much of the blame, in my opinion, because that is exactly what is wrong. One of the many reasons of why BeachBody is so toxic. Things that the public will not see, but the trainers are involved in. The pressure that is put on them and other people overall, just the pressure looking fit enough to be on camera, whatever their definition of that is.
And you hear something like that and you're like, okay, I'm already exercising my ass off. At this point now, I was exercising like, because I have a normal body. I'm a normal girl. Like I'm not a freak of nature. And it was really hard for me to get super lean. And so in order for me to do that, I had to continually, because I didn't want to go on a diet. So I just would exercise more and more and more. So now we're talking, I was exercising like 3 and 4 hours a day just to try to maintain. Because here's the deal, the more you exercise and the more you deprive yourself, the slower your metabolism gets. So it's just this downward cycle where you're just like, you're working harder just to maintain. And you can't take any time off of that because your metabolism is so screwed up and your adrenal glands are completely blown out of whack, and it's just this horrible cycle. And then you start feeling depleted. And so what I start compromising my sleep, because I'm like, okay, I'm running these businesses and I'm trying to build something here. I'm trying to take care of my staff. I'm trying to take care of my team. I'm trying to motivate them. I'm trying to connect with these consumers. I'm trying to create new workouts, and I'm trying to stay fit. And I'm trying to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I want to be present for my kids. So if I'm going to be present for my kids, then I better wake up at 4 a.m. and I better get at least 2 of my workouts in legit before 7 a.m.
So this is one of the reasons why this is not a bash Chalene video or anything. The fact that she had that much told to her, those toxic things told to her, and that she would just take that in because, of course, like she's in that position. What else is she supposed to do, especially at that time, around that time? Body positivity, haze in general, yes, they were around, but they weren't as known. It wasn't something like it is these days. How else would I expect her to respond to those kind of messages and saying that she needs to work out more and just continuously, like, she's not good enough, like her body is not. So that's like the part of me in this video where I just feel so much for her and her experience. Now, that doesn't take everything, and we still have a lot to talk about, but that specifically, I just feel really sad and upset for her. And she mentioned that she was working out like 3 hours a day. And when you are working out that much, you have to put so much effort and energy into recovery. I have done this growing up as an athlete. Sometimes I would train that long or even longer, especially when I was really trying to be competitive in figure skating and in Taekwondo. So maybe I spent 2 hours on the ice, maybe an hour off ice of training, maybe an hour or two Taekwondo training. So like it is possible to train that much, but it's the focus. Like, what is the focus? Is it to create these kind of workout videos that you're doing for a company trying to sell a specific product? And so by nature, people are going to see that kind of body and be like, okay, if I purchase this product, then I'm going to have a body similar or like close to what they look like. Like, is it that, or is it, are you training like as an athlete for competition and just overall making your performance better? Like, those are different. One is more focused on selling a product with kind of false advertising. The other one is working on yourself as an athlete, getting to a higher level as an athlete. At that same time, when I was training 3+ hours a day, I was also sleeping a lot, I was eating a lot, and I was doing a lot of other recovery actions to minimize the amount of stress that I was putting on my body. Like she mentioned, all of the stress that can happen. Yes, absolutely. That's why that stress that comes from that amount of training is the reason why recovery efforts have to be so intentional for athletes who are training at that higher level, that higher amount of time. I am someone who genuinely loves to move. I love to lift heavy things. I love to train. That is one part of growing up as an athlete that I just completely, like, it's still part of me. And right now it's a little bit harder. I get a little bit more tired because I'm creating, I'm making another human being. But while I can definitely spend several hours in the gym just having fun, that is not for everyone. And to see some kind of commercial or infomercial where the people that you're looking to look a specific way, but they're not doing that program, like maybe they're doing that program, but they're doing so much more, I just feel like that is a little bit unethical. And again, I'm putting that blame mostly on BeachBody though, because they know that they weren't put under that same stress that Chalene was being put under at that time. And there's a difference between thinking that you have to work out for that long for health purposes or like for something like this versus knowing that it's not for health. You're not doing it for health. You're doing it for like athletic purposes or like competition training. But when people spend that amount of time thinking that they have to in order to burn off what they're eating, in order to change their body in a specific way, that's where it can become really unhealthy mentally and also physically. BeachBody knew this. In my opinion, they knew what was going on. And for that, I am 100% calling them out and holding them accountable for that. Because yes, that stuff sells. BeachBody, in my opinion, exploits the fact that thinness sells and supplements sell.
So I'm gonna have to wake up at 4:30, and then I'm gonna have to, be present for my kids during the day and my husband, and be the perfect wife, and be there emotionally and intimately, and do all the things, and then I'll have to go to work at night. I'm gonna have to go to work, when the kids go down, like at 9 o'clock at night. So then I would work until like midnight or 1 a.m. and then wake up at 4:30. And that is like the least health. What I just described is a prescription for early death. And that's what was happening. Like, my health started to fail, and I have ADHD, by the way, but I didn't realize it until age 45 because of the lifestyle that I was living. Is so it certainly isn't optimal for brain health. If you want to take care of brain health, you have to do the opposite of everything I was doing. I wasn't eating real food. I was at this stage now. I was sustaining myself off of the pre-workouts and the post-workout drinks and the energy bars and the protein shakes. I was afraid of real food because how would I eat real food if I was supposed to be eating all these like processed shakes and powders and bars and like all of that stuff? I didn't know how to eat real food. I didn't have time to eat real food because I was always going to another workout. So I didn't want to feel full. It was crazy, and you don't realize it while you're in it because everyone around you is doing it. Everyone around me was doing the same thing. They're all drinking protein shakes and doing 5 workouts and living in their workout wear and sleeping very little and waking up super early, and we were all just doing it. And I was telling people what I was doing. I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, come on, everybody, wake up early, get your workout done before 5 a.m. Like, come on, you can sleep when you're dead. Little did I realize I was like destroying myself. I was destroying myself. And at about that moment, I got a call. Actually, I didn't get a call. My husband got a call from a producer of the next series of fitness videos I was going to do. And that person, again, don't even try to figure out who it was because it doesn't matter. It could have been anybody. That person said to my husband, I don't know how you need to say this to your wife, but I think her next series would do a lot better if she could get leaner.
Her next series could do a lot better if she got leaner, more lean. And she was already doing so much time, spending so much time in the gym. She was already barely eating. She mentioned she was sustaining herself off BeachBody supplements. I know I'm more emotional these days, but nobody deserves that life. And nobody deserves to be told that they need to change their body or it's recommended to change their body in order to sell more products. That is incredibly harmful on the trainer side. That person who is making that content or like being the star of that content and being told that kind of messaging. That is extremely harmful for that person's own health, their mental health, emotional health, and ultimately their physical health is where their social health, all of their health. But it's not just harmful to them. It is also incredibly harmful to everyone who is going to be the target audience of that, who is going to, or even not the target audience, anybody who sees that content and is like, that's what I need to do. That I'm not good enough. I need to change my body. I need to do this program so I can look like her. I need to do this program because apparently this is the result of the program. It's false advertising. You're not just false advertising to the potential clients and customers and distributors, which is bad enough, false advertising, but you are also promoting the idea that you have to have this specific kind of body, a specific level of leanness in order to have health, in order to look desirable, in order for the distributors to bring on more customers. They need to look a specific way, and their clients are feeling that they need to look a specific way too. They need to change their body in that way. There is no mention about actual health, health that actually matters, that deep health. Where is BeachBody talking about that then? Where are they talking about it now? We still see actions from BeachBody that are very much aligned with what you see in eating disorders and disordered eating. Their promotion of their nutrition plans when they say that it is not a diet, it is lifestyle, when it clearly has rules. Even the To Be mindset, we went over that in the video. It is disguised as this kind of healthy lifestyle, this kind of wellness culture that's really just diet culture that is so toxic and so harmful to so many people's well-being, their overall health, physically, mentally, socially, and emotionally. And BeachBody is able to do this, and they're seen as this kind of leader in health when really they're one of the companies that are making the most damage, that are doing the most damage in health, in my opinion. It is okay to have fat on your body. It is okay to not have a six-pack abs. It is okay to not spend 3 hours in the gym. It's okay to not spend an hour in the gym or whatever. Like, you can still have that joyful movement and that look completely different and not in a gym at all. But you do not have to rely on shakes and bars and all of these kind of supplements that they have. That is not health. BeachBody is not talking about health. I never see them talking about health. I never see them actually talk about health, of deep health.
Now, at that point, I weighed 115 pounds, 114 pounds, and I was miserable. And when he told me that, I felt like I was standing naked in front of a room full of strangers. I felt found out. Remember I told you I had this imposter syndrome that like at any moment someone was going to say like, what are you doing here? I felt like everyone had been whispering that all along, and it finally just got back to me. What are you doing here? You're not lean enough. And my first reaction, aside from just like sheer humiliation and embarrassment, and then I got mad, and then I decided that the way I would get back and handle it would be to drop more weight, which I didn't know how to do. I did not know how to lose weight. I've never lost like more than like 2 or 3, I swear to God. I've always kind of been about the same weight, like maybe lose a pound or so, like, you know, but like literally, I did not know how to do that. So I decided, well, the only thing I know how to do is to exercise more and try eating less. And that's what I did. I just cut way back the small amount of like processed health food I was eating and exercised even more. I now know that's, orthorexia for sure. Borderline anorexia, maybe.
And BeachBody was encouraging this. They saw that. They encouraged her to do this. It wasn't like they were like, okay, we'll see you later. Like, come back. We're recording this day, blah, blah, blah. They were literally telling her, you need to change your body a little bit more in order to sell a little bit more. According to this video, based on this information, and in my opinion, it really does seem like BeachBody promotes orthorexia, anorexia, overall disordered eating. I don't know how else to say this. I don't know how many videos I have to make about BeachBody in particular, talking about how concerning their recommendations are when it comes to everything, but especially with the nutrition side and just overall body image side. It's disgusting.
Man, was I miserable. I felt like I was gonna die. But I lost, probably about 6 to 8 pounds, I think. And I'm 5'2". So that looks like 25 pounds on an average person. And I was like all my muscle was gone, all my energy was gone, my hair was falling out, I could not think straight, my brain was not functioning. I was so irritable, I was so annoyed. My nerve endings felt like they were on the edge of my skin. Everyone bugged me, everything set me off, I was emotional, but I just had to get through to that filming, right? I had to get to that filming, get to that workout series. And no, it wasn't PIO, no, I mean, it was a very small series, most people probably haven't even seen it. This is what I looked like when I filmed this series. And when I showed up on set, here's the confusing thing, is everyone told me, you look amazing. What are you doing? What, girl? You look amazing. What are you doing? Oh my gosh, body goals. Oh my, your abs. You have never looked better. It is so confusing to know that what you're doing is unhealthy and damaging and probably killing you, and it's not also sustainable, and have everyone compliment you. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you were a drug addict and people saw you strung out and people said, you look amazing? It's really kind of no different. It's just, we're conditioned. I don't blame anyone because we're conditioned. When we see someone who's lost weight.
I blame diet culture. I blame BeachBody. BeachBody has had a really big impact when you talk about diet culture and social media and everything. BeachBody has definitely played a huge role in that. And I 100% completely agree with her how it can be so confusing when you have been on this this journey of changing your body, a really unhealthy journey, and people respond in a very positive way. They say, oh, you look so great. What are you doing? Or you are body goals. Can we just stop commenting about people's bodies too? There's so much more to a person, so many more interesting things about a person than their body. Someone's body is the least important thing to me. That's not gonna be for everybody, okay? I'm not saying that I'm better or anything like that. This is just my video. I'm giving my reaction, my responses, my thoughts. Someone's body is the least interesting thing to me about that person. And again, in my opinion, when someone is creating this kind of program, this health related program, it should be about healthy actions. Just do the healthy actions. The body will be where it needs to be.
I've caught myself doing it where you just go, oh, you look great. It's such a habitual response, and we've got to stop doing that because you just never know. And that got so confusing because my goal was I'm just going to lose this weight for the series, and then I can't maintain this. Obviously, then I'm going to go back to what the craziness I was doing before. And I got to the workout series, but then after I finished it, it was so confusing. I just didn't know what to, do I continue? I can't continue doing this. I'm going to die if I keep doing this. And I'm not, my personality is off. Everything's off. And it was about that time I went and had my brain scanned, and that was my wake up call. I went and had my brain scanned at the Amen Clinic, and they just said, we know who you are and we know what you do. Please don't take this the wrong way, but you're not healthy. We're looking at your nutrition labs. You're deficient in everything. And your brain is showing the signs of cognitive decline. And you have ADHD, really severe ADHD. You need to make a change. And there's this toxicity in your brain, which eventually we figured out was from sleep deprivation. And rarely does a life-changing decision happen on one day, but I would say my life-changing decision happened that day. It was that day that I realized I had this gift, this incredible opportunity. Was so fortunate to have this platform of people who trusted me, who believed in me. And it It wasn't I was intentionally misleading anyone, but I just didn't know. I didn't know the first thing about health and fitness. I ended up there by accident because I understood business and marketing.
She didn't know about health and fitness. She ended up there accidentally because she knew about marketing or business. The fact that BeachBody finds people and pushes them as these kind of fitness professionals to make content around health and encouraging people to do the same, giving these kind of recommendations to people, that is one of the most frustrating things. I might get a comment that's like, well, your life is pretty easy if that's the most frustrating thing. I know so many just amazing health professionals in different areas who never get this kind of opportunity, who would be much more effective and better at actually helping people with their health. But you have these kind of loud companies like BeachBody who is out here pushing people who don't know, who aren't those health and fitness professionals in that role. And you have customers or clients on the other side, like they are looking for answers, so they don't know, who are the professionals or not. And so they're going to listen to like the loudest company, in this case, BeachBody. Why would you have that happen? And I know she said that she knew the marketing of it. Again, this is about BeachBody. I'm more focused on BeachBody. The fact that they promote these kind of people. We've talked about this with Autumn Calabrese being like the poster child for nutrition when it comes to BeachBody, and the credentials behind her that kind of concerning. And it really does matter like who she is talking about specifically. I know she's not going to give any names or anything, but in my opinion it really does matter, because those people need to never step foot in the health and fitness, wellness, nutrition industry ever again unless they completely change. Because what they are doing is, and I'm sure that's not a popular opinion, but again, my opinion, that what they are doing is very toxic and like the opposite of health. And so I don't have a problem saying whoever she is talking about, if they watch her video and they know that she's talking about them, like, in my opinion, they should not be in this industry ever again, unless they are going to like completely think about what they did and actually how much harm that they caused. And just another note on the whole like body goals thing. I know the intention is there. The intention is good or positive, but you can do the exact same physical movement and have the exact same nutritional intake as someone and look completely different than the other person. When you're talking about goals, a healthy goal is something that is out of your comfort zone. It requires work, but it's something that you can achieve. The fact that we say body goals when in reality it's very likely not achievable, because like even if you get to the same level of leanness or fitness, the body still can look very different. And so like I just cringe when I hear body goals because of that, because that's not how goals work, in my opinion. And she mentioned after her brain scan, like not knowing about health and fitness. And while I don't want to gatekeep health and fitness and nutrition, at the same time, we need to draw a line, because that impacts other people's actual health. You're not talking about just like, I don't know, something that impacts something else that's maybe not as like important, but like you're actually talking about people's health. Why is this considered okay? We have licensure and like other certification requirements for so many different professions. But for some reason, when it comes to like health and nutrition, it seems like people are just like, well, I eat so I can give nutrition advice, or I can lift so I can give fitness advice. I am still like very careful about I used to be a personal trainer. I still, when people ask me like personal trainer stuff kind of questions, I like to refer them to somebody who is like really focused on that now, who's like so much more knowledgeable about it than I am. When it comes to health, we should not be encouraging people to recommend health things based on their experience, because everybody is different, and your experience, what you did, it might not just be not helpful for that person, but it can be harmful for that person. And so I don't know, for whatever reason, there's just something within the health and wellness industry that, with like most other professions, people are okay with being like, okay, well, you need to have this kind of certificate or licensure or whatever. But because people eat, they think that they can just give nutrition and wellness advice. I don't know. It's just weird. Let's just continue.
But I never took the time to understand what health and fitness really was. I thought it was a look, because that was the industry that I was in. I was in an industry that said, if you're leaner, if your body fat is so low that we can see your spleen, then you're gonna sell more videos. And I thought that's what I needed to do, that's what I needed to be, and I thought it was normal. And it was that day that I realized, like, I need to figure out what the health is. And I was very honest with you, and I said, guys, I'm taking a break. And I'm gonna figure out why I'm unhealthy and what I did.
BeachBody is promoting overall getting your advice from people who have very concerning habits. And I'm not going to diagnose or anything. I mean, she mentioned that she had orthorexia and like borderline anorexia. And some of the newer information that we see coming out of BeachBody, again, not diagnosing, but what they are recommending and some of the people who are recommending it, it's very concerning. I am not saying that somebody who has a history of eating disorders or disordered eating should not promote health or be able to like get through that and speak about nutrition. Hello, I'm here. And as a company, at like the leaders, they should, if they are a health company, they should be able to spot that.
And I'm going to document the process, and I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'm no longer going to lead you astray. And I'm going to tell you that everything that I've done up to this point, I was just listening to what other people were doing too, and I had never done my research, and it took me about 3 years to really reverse all of the damage that I had done, to figure out how to repair my brain, to figure out how to eat the right nutrients, to figure out like what my body needed, to understand like I had to, like it's a...
And even then, she's figuring out what she needed. As much as how awesome it would be if we could just use what worked on us and apply it to other people, that's not how it works, unfortunately.
Mental addiction, when you feel like you need to work out for 3 hours a day, like that is a mental addiction. That's orthorexia. And that was a hard habit to break. I had to break the habit of waking up early. I had all these things, all that. While I was doing that and I stepped away from fitness, people were very angry with me. They were accusing me of like holding out for more money, and accusing me of, oh, maybe she got fired, maybe they got rid of her because she's old, like all these dumb things where I'm like, no, it was a mutual decision. It was my decision. And I want to thank every single person who was a part of that journey and who poured into me. The people at BeachBody were amazing. Lara Ross and Heather Church and God, there's Laylee. There's so many amazing, Andrea, like there's so many amazing people who poured into me, and I love you guys, and the coaches were phenomenal. But it really helped me. Like that was an eye-opening experience that led me to realize that the thing I always wanted to do, I need to do, and that was teach other people.
Okay, so the rest of the video, she kind of talks about how, like, what her passion really is, which I am so glad that she has found what she's really passionate about, what she really wants to focus in on. I still feel like she is putting a lot of this blame on herself and not enough on BeachBody. And so I don't know if she's just trying to be very professional and, not try to call them out, take the fall for everything. But again, I hold BeachBody to so much of a higher standard. They are the company overall, and they were working with this trainer. So they should take more of the, I don't know, maybe not, but I think in my opinion, they should take more of that responsibility. And I feel like she was very kind to BeachBody in this video. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video that Rachel shared more information about Chalene and just kind of how she's been leaving these kind of breadcrumbs on her podcast. And she also shared with me a picture that Chalene actually liked on Instagram. And I actually went to this picture and verified it for myself, at least at the time of this recording, that she still likes that picture. The picture is from Anti-MLM Madness, and it says, "Say no to multi-level marketing." Chalene liked it, and so I don't know if she's kind of going through what a lot of people, including myself, who just kind of that deconstruction of really questioning, like, oh, I didn't know how harmful this business structure was, if this is part of her kind of going through that, learning through that, and getting more of a voice in that. So I'm really excited to see if she's going to tell more about how her thoughts are on multi-level marketing, especially when it comes to the health and wellness ones. And I know she wasn't on like the distributor side, but still she was a big part of BeachBody. Now she did have, and I think she still does have, maybe not, but she had a keto diet program a couple years ago, and it was just very weight focused. So while I love that she chose to share her story, her experience in this video, I'm still concerned. I just want to put it out there that I am still concerned recommending any of her content for fear of there still being diet culture kind of disguised as wellness culture. I've seen some concerning things that I would still not recommend even after she did leave BeachBody, but that's a whole nother program. We're not talking about her keto program, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So wrapping this up, you know my thoughts about BeachBody. They are, in my opinion, one of the biggest leaders in the world promoting orthorexia behaviors. Their name is problematic. Their programs are problematic, in my opinion. So I want to know your thoughts. Was I too harsh? Am I being too harsh on BeachBody? Am I being too harsh on Chalene, or the opposite? Let me know your thoughts, how you feel about this video. Again, this is not going to be new information for some people, but for other people, this is new information. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed, please do that, only if you want. And I'm looking into doing more reaction style videos. I love doing deep dives, but they really take a lot of time. So in between them, I was thinking about focusing more so on some kind of reaction videos. If you have any videos that you would like me or posts or anything, I am currently gathering some. So if you would like to send them over to me either on my Instagram or email address, callingoutbodyshame@gmail.com, also linked down below, then please go ahead and do that. And I hope you have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are at. And remember, you can strive for health without subscribing to diet culture. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.